flight between Sydney and LA for Oceanic Flight 815. Until... now, lost on a mysterious island, the survivors have more to fear than survival itself.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You killed us all.
Nothing is real!
Namaste, thank you, and good luck.
I think your friends just blew themselves up, brother.
I just saved us all.
I've got to go, and you've got to get as far away from here as possible. Go where? Stop! I'm gonna blow it down, Tom.
Who are you people?
We're the good guys, Michael.
You push the button. That's an order.
All we really need to survive is one person who truly loves us.
Miss Whitmore, I think we found it.
This is the Lost Initiative from Sky One.
Welcome to the UK's official download show for Lost. I'm Ian Lee, and I'll be devoting the next half hour of my life entirely to episode 13, The Man from Tallahassee. Now, as always, your help in making sense of it is greatly appreciated. So you can email us at lost@sky1.co.uk.
The Lost Initiative.
Joined as always by Paul Terry, editor of Lost magazine. Hello, Paul.
Hello.
And by he's not here.
Where is he?
I don't know. Geeky Tom is not, for legal reasons, he's not allowed to come within 500 feet of me.
I'm really intrigued though. Like, what's happening?
An incident after
the purge.
After the last recording of the Lost Initiative meant I had to contact the authorities. He's not allowed near me, I'm afraid. So sorry about that. But you're here. Good to have you here.
Hello.
You're the intelligent one of the two.
What? That's very kind of you to say.
Brief reaction to episode 13?
Well, the fact that it's called The Man from Tallahassee, immediately I was thinking, well, it's a Sawyer episode. And then the fact that it was a Locke-centric episode, I was really surprised. And, oh my God, we get to find out all this stuff about his dad.
Well, I was ever so slightly annoyed, because in this episode we find out why he's paralysed. But I knew that we found that out because someone in Canada, a woman called Denise, who emails me from time to time, emailed me saying, "Hey Ian, have you seen this week's Last? It's great, we find out how well, thanks very much."
Oh, what?
Anyway, so we do discover how Locke becomes paralysed, and we also find out he was lying when he told Saeed that he was going to the barracks to rescue Jack.
John.
Shh. Keep your voice down.
All right. It's all right, John. You don't have to point the gun at me. I can tell you where Jack is.
I'm not looking for Jack. I'm looking for the submarine.
It's kind of obvious, isn't it, that Locke wants to blow up the submarine because he wants to stay on the island and wants to walk. Is that it?
Well, that's the basic summary I came to, but a lot of fans are talking about, well, what about if Locke basically wants to hold the others to ransom over something? So if he's got that over them, it's almost like if you imagine if your enemy could flee,
yeah,
they can't answer any questions. So maybe he's also concerned about them legging it in the night, just all piling into the submarine and powering off into the Pacific Ocean.
It's a tiny submarine. You could only, although there were bunks in it.
It was, what, a 4-manner, do we reckon, maybe?
I reckon a 4-manner, from my knowledge of underwater subaquatic craft. Underwater means subaquatic craft. But by blowing it up, he has no hold over them. He's destroyed all hold.
Yeah.
And he knew, because Alex said to him, well, my dad wants you to do this, it's a trick. And he knew, or at least afterwards, retrospectively, he knew that he had been manipulated into blowing that
which, let's face it, John Locke absolutely hates that. He hates that whole side of things being manipulated by anybody. So I think when he was chained up, he was feeling a little bit foolish that he got led down that path to blow up the sub.
He didn't get led down that path. What? Now, one thing I didn't understand. He goes in the submarine to blow it up.
Yeah.
Having a little look around. Submarine, very exciting, very cramped, very difficult to film, I'd imagine. You see him walking back along the walkway, soaking wet. Why was he soaking wet? And at the time, I sort of thought, well, that's all, but I didn't question it. But the more I think about it, that's insane. Unless he then swam outside. But you wouldn't stick the dynamite on the outside if you can get inside. So what's the point of that?
I must admit, now you've said it, because I think at the time I was watching it, and I thought, well, obviously, he scouted around, maybe he took some intel, and then he thought, I've never blown up a sub before, maybe I'll just blow a massive hole in the hull, so I'll stick it on the outside. So maybe like pootle along. Yeah. Can you pootle along on the surface of water?
But it's insane.
You can have a go. And stuck it there. But maybe there's a deleted scene that we're going to see on the DVD or something like that. Watching.
Oh, don't. You can't excuse that.
No, not excusing. I'm trying to.
There is a mystery to it. There is an important mystery.
What? Who made John Locke
Sorry,
wet?
I'm trying not to... What? You kind of think you can say that.
I just did.
Okay. Now, I don't believe that Ben... I keep going to call him Henry Gale. Ben says that the submarine is the only way off the island. I don't buy that for a second, because there was the boat that they gave to Michael and Walt.
Yeah, the little parlour ferry boat.
Yeah. So they wouldn't... So, and they said, right, stick on this course, you'll get off the island.
Yeah.
They've got the submarine to get off. And they're saying that... Ben says that if the submarine goes away, it can't come back because of the anomaly.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't do that, though. He wouldn't give away their only escape route off the island.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think it's the fact that there's these things on Lost that we find out, there's a submarine and it's been, ferried there for a while and it's waiting to be used. Maybe because the island's so massive, there could be other ferries, there could be other ports, other little submarine units.
Oh, I think so, definitely.
Other towns. So I think that the fact that, Locke has convinced himself that, I've done Ben's work and it's all gone wrong. It's, don't worry, Locke, have a moment, you'll be fine.
I don't get, though, why he says, well, because of the anomaly, the submarine can't come back.
I think there must be some kind of, the sonar thing that Mikhail was talking about. There was a sonar relay that the submarine honed in on. That was in the last episode or the one before that.
Yeah.
How they, have contact with the outside world. Maybe when the magnetic anomaly got exploded in the purple sky, blah, 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 maybe that knocked out everything.
This purple sky thing, at the time I kind of didn't really think much of it. Can I just say, by the way, I'm playing catch-up. I've just finished Series 1 of Lost.
Oh, yeah, you're watching one again, aren't you?
With someone who's never seen Lost before. Just finished Series 1. Did 7 episodes in a weekend. Fantastic. Straight through to the first 2 episodes of Series 2. Superb. But, sorry, going off on a tangent there. But I think the purple sky is more significant than I gave it credit for when it initially happened. That means something. And that surprised everyone.
Yeah, I think that the island vibrating, the fact that the anomaly has been knocked out, and the fact that when Ben looks up on the jetty and he looks really disturbed and concerned, because he doesn't have any idea what consequence that's going to have for them, for the others, where they live, their communications, and now we find out halfway through season 3, it's all gone a bit wrong.
It's knackered everything.
Yeah, exactly. It's all gone wrong.
It's odd, isn't it, as well? He obviously had no intention... Well, he did have an intention of letting Jack and Juliet go, but surely they're going to arrive somewhere in a submarine and go, oh, there's this really spooky island. He wouldn't want them to say that, would he?
I think I don't trust him as far as he could be thrown, which at the moment isn't very far. It's maybe in his mind he's thinking, well, Jack and Juliet have served their purpose. He got fixed.
Yeah.
Juliet's maybe done whatever he wanted her to do with the fertility thing, and he's actually thinking, yeah, go on, go away. And maybe like you're saying, there's more than one sub, so just get him out of the way. Then he can use that as a bit of power over the rest of the people on the island.
I'm not sure that there's another sub, but I'm sure there's definitely another way off.
Some other way off. Yeah.
There'll be a light aircraft or something.
Yeah,
there's room for a runway there.
But the whole Michael and Walt thing, that tiny little ferry, way back, because he'd been rewatching it, and at the end of season 1, there's that conversation about that boat, because Michael knows about boats and stuff, doesn't he? He says that could not sustain itself out on the open ocean. It would just, be trashed with the waves. So when he said, stay on that bearing, yeah, you'll be fine. Like, where have they gone? I need to know that. I need to know where they
Michael and Walt, now, listen, there's no one listening. Give me some inside information.
Right.
Are they coming back?
Well, we said a few weeks ago, the quote from Damon, which was the quote from Damon from the magazine, where he'd said, "You've not seen the last of Michael and Walt." Now, I genuinely don't know whether that is this season or the beginning of the next season, but he said that. We've not seen the last of Michael and Walt.
I suspect that somewhere midway, can you believe we're even talking about Series 4 already?
It's mental.
I reckon midway through Series 4, he's going to turn up as if to say, I'm back, guys, I've come to rescue you. Now, a Locke episode, which I think no one would argue, it's always a great thing to see. But Locke seems to have developed some strange Luddite ideas about the island, which he reveals to Ben.
Why are you so angry, John?
Because you're cheating. You and your people. Communicate with the outside world whenever you want to. You come and go as you please. You use electricity and running water and guns. You're a hypocrite. A Pharisee. You don't deserve to be on this island. If you had any idea what this place really was, you wouldn't be putting chicken in your refrigerator.
You've been here 80 days, John. I've been here my entire life. So how is it that you think you know this island better than I do?
Because you're in the wheelchair. And I'm not.
Why does Locke say that Ben doesn't deserve to be on the island? Is it because he's not quite understood the power of the island?
I think he's really enjoying the role reversal and the fact that it's almost exactly like when they were back in the Swan Hatch, and then when Ben was, or Henry Gale as he was known then, was captive of Locke's team, and now Locke is standing over him again and got all the control, all the power back. And yeah, Locke's really in touch with his Zen side at the moment, and I think he genuinely believes that he's seen things on the island that he can't explain, but he's very fascinated by, and he sees Ben, who hasn't been healed, who had the tumour on his spine. So he's almost thinking, no. Let's look at you. Why are you so powerful? You know, I'm the one who the island is interested in. Which is fair enough. I'd agree with that.
Why does the island cure Locke and not Ben?
Well, that is the big one. That's one of the huge questions, isn't it? Why, if Ben was born on the island and all this kind of, I know about the island, all its secrets, and I can show you things, John, things that are amazing and powerful. Why is he the one who was struck with? It wasn't just like a mild ailment. He had cancer on his spine. So what's that about?
But it's not just Locke that's been cured, because Rose, who I don't think we've seen it. Rose and Bernard, have we seen them in?
No, they've been mentioned. They've been referenced by Hurley. They're obviously still there.
But she was cured as well, and Son is up the duff as a direct result of. Well,
they think it's the
intercourse. I guess.
Yeah,
but
nothing to do with the island.
The island has unblocked her tube,
or the island has done some miraculous fertility thing. Yeah, in some way. Yeah.
But could it be? Are the others? Are they vaccinating, or was it just Dharma that was vaccinating against the illness, whatever it is?
Oh, yeah, the sickness thing. Well, that's not been talked about much.
Because if Ben is vaccinating, maybe the sickness is the fact that the island cures, and it's kind of got it the wrong way round slightly.
Oh,
so he's vaccinating against the magical healing powers of being on a spooky island in the middle of the Pacific.
I thought that. Oh, I like that a lot, actually. Yeah, he's the one who's rebelling against the island and saying, no, I don't want to be immortal, or I don't want to be cured, I want to be normal. So that's quite interesting.
Last week I was convinced that Locke is Jacob, who is referred to every now and then as a great man, and we've seen references to him as kind of being sort of the big boss. I don't think he is now.
Well, what's the new theory?
My new theory is that his dad is Jacob.
Is it? I like that.
It was kind of obvious where the ending was going to, where they were building up to your dad's in here, and I sort of got that 3 or 4 minutes before it happened.
Okay.
Still very, very exciting when it happened. Still a brilliant moment.
Or how that even is conceived.
And if you look, I don't know if it's just the way that his arms are tied behind his back. It does look like he has no arms. I don't know.
We'll find out next week.
We'll find out. Well, we probably won't. We'll find out in series 5.
He looked terrified. Anthony Cooper generally looked terrified, which I'm really intrigued by that. Like, why is he so scared? Okay, he's been beaten up, he's been captive, but is he scared because, I don't know, where do we start? How did he end up on the island? Because Ben's talking about, I don't know how you did this, John, and he talks about a magic box, and does he literally mean a box, or does he mean that as a metaphor?
We'll come back to the magic box in a minute, because that is, I think, is going to blow our minds.
Yeah.
But Locke's dad, I think this about every time I see one of their dads, I think they're the brains behind the entire thing. But it's, I've got an email. Let me read this email.
Okay.
This is from Ms. Hawking Jr., and this is a good point that me being an idiot, hadn't even thought of. We all know that Locke's dad is a con man.
Yeah.
And in The Man from Tallahassee, he uses the pseudonym of Adam Seward. There has also been speculation that Anthony Cooper is the real Sawyer. Well, guess what I just found out, says Ms. Hawking Jr. Oh, this is good.
Go on.
An anagram of Anthony Cooper Adam Seward is Sawyer the con man, poor dad. How good is that? That's fantastic.
What, the whole phrase is Sawyer the con man, poor dad?
Yeah. Anthony Cooper, Adam Seward.
That's pretty good.
That's good, because they like doing their Ethan Rom, other man. They like their kind of anagramical names,
and they like connecting people on the show.
Had you made that connection before, that his dad could possibly be the real Sawyer?
Not at all. No. I mean, we were talking about things a while. It must have been last season 2. Actually, we were talking about how people could be connected. I think it was the end of season 2. We were saying what other connections could possibly exist on the island, on outside the island. And I remember the fact that he is a con man in many ways. He's conned the kidney and so many other things. So I think a lot of fans were thinking maybe he had a connection to the original Sawyer, or maybe he worked with Sawyer on a con. Maybe Anthony Cooper and Sawyer have done a job together. That would be cool. So almost like Master and Apprentice, without him knowing obviously the connection to Locke. I like that. I like a lot of the derivatives of the con connection.
The right age to be the real Sawyer, to be the Sawyer that our Sawyer has kind of based his whole life around, isn't it?
It would kind of work, yeah. It was a really well-observed thing with the anagram. That's insane.
Yes, I think you can do it on a computer these days. Now, another email. Oh, for God's sake. So I've got to read this person's name out. The anonymous Prince of Worcester, Mr. Duckmole, Mandrake, Peter Timmins Vega. Yes, he says, I like the theory that maybe he, Locke, is part of the others, or is Jacob, but maybe this isn't the case at all. perhaps Locke is in fact working for the Hanso Foundation / Dharma Initiative and has been recruited after his trip to Sydney to go to the island to destroy all research and evidence after the stations were taken over by the others, or the hostiles. This would explain why he destroyed the computer at the end of Season 2. No, it doesn't. Forcing Desmond to use the failsafe key, and why he entered 77 knowing it would set off the C4. It would also It would also explain why he took some C4 from the flame. Everything that's been destroyed on the island has been a direct result of him.
Yeah, okay, there is that connection, but I think it's a bit of a stretch to suggest that he's willingly undercover. Like, he's sitting there at the beach camp going, "Oh, I know why I'm here. I've been sent by the Foundation." I like the idea that Tom had, the fact that maybe he's a sleeper agent, or maybe someone like Said is a sleeper agent. They don't actually know what the repressed memories, or they've been trained in. They're going to be activated at some point to do a mission. That's quite cool.
The last few episodes has seemingly become more aware. There's kind of just little things seem to be clicking.
He's looking,
and he's off on his own mission. He's there with the others, but that's by the by. He's off doing his own thing.
What do you think what is his MO then? What is Locke up to right now? What do you think he's doing? He's not rescuing Jack, and it couldn't have been just to blow up the submarine. So what is he actually thinking? Right now, I'm like 4 stages towards achieving this.
He has some calling within him that, and I don't know what it is, but he's being driven to do something, to find something out. And at the end, I don't know. All my theories, at each episode I see now, all my theories are getting blown out of the water.
Same for me, but I love that. I love the.
Do you remember when I used to talk about a super brain computer?
Oh, the SBC.
What's a bloody idiot? What an idiot I was. But every week, every theory I've got seems to be getting turns it to be nonsense.
Keep us on their toes, though. It's good, you know.
Oh no, hey, definitely. Now we've got a caller on the lost line. It's Donna. Hello, Donna.
Hello, Ian.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Yourself?
I'm all the better for not having Geeky Tom sat next to me. He's a little bit creepy in real life. So that probably sounds like fun on the radio, but in real life, he's a weirdo. Now, Donna, what have you got for us?
Well, the theory that I'm thinking at the moment is that it is all about the Valenzetti equation and about this experimentation, not just for the survival of humanity, sort of at the end of the world, but in order to make a new and better human society.
Very quickly, Paul, in one sentence, for those who don't know what the Valenzetti equation is, maybe new to us, can you explain it?
The Valenzetti equation is the equation for the end of the world. Is that correct, Donna?
It is, yes.
Yeah, and there's so many equations. That's the one for the end of the world.
Supposedly, the numbers are that's the equation.
Yeah, and they'd manipulated it. Well, they were trying to work out where to crack it, weren't they? Is that right, Donna? That was it. They were trying to crack it.
Okay, I think there's me trying to clear things up. I think I've made it more complicated.
But
all right, Donna.
It's important to remember that that's not been made clear on the programme, actually, on the TV show.
No, it hasn't. I think the Valenzetti equation was more about sort of putting off the end of the world, and I think they've probably moved on to look at making sure that humanity carries on.
Right.
And they create this perfect, happy society.
Yes.
And I think that the Losties are the subjects of these experimentations.
Okay, but to what end? Why do you think they've been? Do you think they've been chosen? Do you think they've been brought to the island specifically for that reason?
I do. I think that everything they're doing is being entirely controlled. I think the reason that we keep seeing these mysterious things from their flashbacks appearing, like Saeed's cat, Kate's horse, Dave, is because those things are deliberately being put in those situations on the island to make them think of those flashbacks, to see how that's going to affect the way that they behave and the way that they deal with situations.
Oh, so you're thinking that the thing like Saeed's cat in the episode a couple of weeks ago was put there as kind of like a trigger to trigger off something. They deliberately put that in front of him so it would trigger some...
Yeah, exactly.
Almost like a post-hypnotic suggestion.
Yeah, and I think we can see that because there's a lot of issues with kind of a form of survivor guilt with the Losties, where they feel responsible for someone's death. And I think that if you look at information of people who survived natural disasters, Holocaust victims, all sorts of that kind of situation, there's often a guilt that's associated with it. And I think it's how would people deal with this idea that everybody else is gone. And trying to find out the kinds of people and the kinds of experiences that make people be able to thrive, even in a situation where the rest of the world's gone.
I kind of buy that. It doesn't really take us any further, but it sounds like it makes sense. Paul, anything you want to say?
Well, Donna, have you got a theory as to actually who's controlling those post-hypnotic suggestions? Like, is it the black smoke monster thing, or who's controlling it, basically?
I think the Dharma Initiative believed that they were conducting the experiments, but they originally were the subject of the experiments, and the others were watching and observing them.
Oh, lots of layers.
Watching us, watching you, watching us, watching you.
Yeah, and I think the others are probably more directly connected to Hanzo. and Hanzo sort of set up the Dharma Initiative as almost like a front.
Okay, so who's the big man? Who is the man controlling everything, or woman? Who do you think is heading up this entire project?
I think it may be, I mean, it goes back to the Lost Experience again, but it may be somebody like Middlework, someone high up who's controlling it all.
You don't think it's anyone on the show? Actually, on the TV show at the moment?
At least nobody that we've seen as of yet.
Okay.
I think there's a possibility that everything that's happening on the island...
If it is someone that we haven't seen, isn't that cheating a little bit? Do you not think...
Not really, because it just means we haven't seen it yet. I don't think it's the case that we'll never see him and it's just going to be some mystical person from like, the other side of the planet.
Okay, Donna, listen, thank you very much for that.
Okay, thank
Cheers.
you.
Take care, bye-bye.
Bye.
I can't attack her because it made a sort of sense, really.
It was a nice,
I drifted off halfway through.
It was a nice interval to us getting utterly, and confused. And
if you'd like to enjoy the thrill that is being on the Lost Line, we only give out the top secret number to our closest friends.
You, the general public.
Yes. So if you want to send us your theory, either via in an email or you want to talk on the Lost Line, then contact us at lost@sky1.co.uk. Put down a couple of pointers about what you want to say, what theories you've got, and your phone number and stuff like that, and we may well be in touch. You don't win anything, though. Now, an excellent ending in this episode.
Oh, yes.
Although, did you see it coming? That he was
I didn't, to be honest, and it's because
Really?
I am actually one of the most gullible viewers of TV or film. Every twist in the world, I buy into. I'm a good
do as
person
well.
for that. I know, I actually freaked out.
Yeah,
At the end 5 minutes, I freaked out and said,
But I knew that they were building up to, and in fact, the seed was sown for me, and I wish I'd said it out loud because you'd have thought, oh, Ian's cool, was when the coppers were in the hospital room with John Locke, and they said, well, he's fled to Mexico, but he could be anywhere in the world, and I nearly said, he's on the island.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't because
you thought it was ridiculous and impossible, and they've done the impossible. They've got him on the island.
But then when Ben is talking at the end, I've got something to show you, John.
Oh, don't do that.
That wasn't a bad impression.
No, don't do that again. That's creepy.
I don't think I could do it again. It was obvious. I think they were building up to that. But a brilliant ending.
Yeah.
And apparently, he has come from the magic box that Ben has been talking about.
Picture a box. You know something about boxes, don't you, John? What if I told you that somewhere on this island, there's a very large box, and whatever you imagined, whatever you wanted to be in it, when you opened that box, there it would be. What would you say about that, John?
I'd say I hope that box is big enough to imagine yourself up a new submarine.
Now, why do you think Anthony Cooper is on the island? I think, and if I may be so bold, he is the head man, and he's in charge of everything, and he has put himself there because he's doing the long con.
So you think he's Jacob, or he's maybe a higher up person?
He's higher up than...
He's near Jacob.
He's higher than Ben. Now, whether he's the big boss...
Okay.
I don't know. He's definitely higher than Ben. And he's manipulating that situation.
And do you think he's been there the whole time? Ever since, before the crash, Anthony Cooper's been on the island?
Well, that's a good question. No. I think they got him in, especially.
They flew him in.
Get me, Cooper. I don't know.
Or maybe when they found out who they got all the details of the people who had survived the crash.
No, they knew.
That's when they got him in.
No, they knew who was going to survive the crash.
Oh, you're still on that one?
Obviously they knew that. Obviously they knew that. That's a fact. That's a fact.
I don't know.
They knew who was going to survive the crash. Okay, he brought over the video of the Red Sox game.
Yeah.
That's when I think he came over.
Okay, I like that.
He brings stuff with him.
Which would mean he's lying about the communication to the outside world, though.
Yeah.
So, okay. But then Ben lies about everything.
Well, no, because the communication... The video of the Red Sox was brought over before... Oh, no, it was after the anomaly. Well, it was after the anomaly, wasn't it, potentially?
All this comes down to whether you buy what Ben says, really, isn't it? Because he says something about, oh, I don't know how you did it, John.
I don't buy anything that Ben says.
Something he did brought him here, and it's like, what a really existential comment, in a way. Like, something John did... manifested him there. Is that what he's trying to say?
Why do you think he's on the island? Tell me your gut feeling, Paul Terry, editor of Lost magazine.
My gut feeling is that he has been brought there, maybe, as you say, by the others, by Ben, but he's there for some kind of manipulation of John again. Because I think basically John Locke has been put through the mill on the outside world in his flashbacks and on the island all the way through the show. Yeah. And I think we've not even scratched the surface. I think that John Locke is going to be going through a lot more stuff, and that's why they brought him in. And poor Locke, look at the end, his face, he's like, for crying out loud.
He does look good.
Are you kidding?
I'm going to interrupt you. John Locke is going to go through more stuff.
Well, obviously, emotion.
Well,
His dad's just turned up.
No, now you've got a cheeky grin on your face.
I don't know what you mean.
Come on, give us this week's Paul Terry Lost exclusive. Come on, what have your American friends been saying? Come on, give me come on, tiny bit.
Let me try and remember the.
He's gone red. That's a good sign.
Let me try and remember that Adam and Eddie, who are our fantastic from the writers' room, they're the fantastic co-exec producers who chat to us all about the kind of the teasers coming up.
Okay.
And they did a brilliant thing recently. They went through each character.
Yeah.
And it was kind of a pre-finale tease of what's coming up on the show.
Yeah.
And Locke. This thing, you're going to be disappointed.
If you don't want to hear this, just fast forward about 45 seconds. No.
For Locke, they basically said, that's why I said that, and I winked at you. They just because I'm winking at you because that's all I've got to give you. They said, "Oh my God, you think Locke has gone through some stuff? Locke's going to go through a whole lot more emotional baggage and blah 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 blah. He's going to go through a lot of stuff coming. There's a lot of adventure, I think, for Locke. So
he drinks. Anthony Cooper's drinking McCutcheon whiskey, which Charles Widmore drinks.
I did not spot that. It's the same whiskey.
Yeah. Possible link.
Well, they're mates. They're best mates, clearly. Obviously, all the dads are.
Jack's dad's alive, isn't he? He's alive and he's on that island. Definitely. It's kind of like in Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock, where the Genesis Project has brought him back to life. The island has brought Jack's dad back to life. Oh, yeah, and you know it as well, and you're just...
No. I love John Terry, and he's not my dad. People keep emailing into magazine going, you love John Terry because he's your dad. Yeah, we share the same surname, like Yoon Jin Kim and Daniel Day Kim do.
Well, Christopher Lee is my granddad.
You're kidding?
I am, yeah. But it's on my Wikipedia page that he is. So why the hell not go along with that?
I should have run with that, yeah. John Terry's my dad. Yeah.
Okay, very quickly, the magic box. Oh, no, that sounds sexy. Is it... It can't be a literal magic box, can it?
Well, it's the fact they've mentioned some kind of magic box, be it literal or metaphorical, this is what I love about Lost. That it's weird. We've seen Desmond have some kind of experience, I'll say this very carefully now because of the past couple of weeks, have some kind of experience where he appeared to be back in 1996.
But he didn't travel through time.
We'll be back on that one. We haven't got time.
We're laughing, but there's actual pure anger and hatred running through our veins every time we bring this topic up.
You do know next time that I do hook up with Damon on the fan questions, I'm just going to be bold and outright and say, can you just say the words time travel? Just to see what he says. No, because that Tom will be happy with that.
Yes.
And then it'll be in your face.
All right, well, you say that.
Okay, so, no, I think that this is the great thing about Lost, and this has always been the great thing about Lost, that it's weird, that there are things that happen, paranormal things, things that can't be explained. Tom likes to explain it all in science, but come on.
If there is a magic box that can bring things on the island...
anything you imagine.
Then we have to assume that Ben wanted that plane to crash. Ben wanted a doctor on the island that would cure his back. He wanted Locke on the island.
Now you're cooking. Yeah, no, this is good. Yeah.
And, he's wanted all those things. Someone wanted the Black Rock on the island. Someone wanted Danielle on the... All of these things have happened.
Until that moment... I was completely convinced that it was some kind of bizarre coincidence accident, because of the whole Desmond... when the swan hatch all went whirr and he ran back too late and the anomaly, the magnetic explosion brought the plane down, I thought that was just a weird coincidence.
Yeah.
I genuinely did. Until you just said that, because that's brilliant. Because Ben...
What, I said something brilliant? What?
No, seriously, because Ben's talking about the magic box bringing anything to the island, and... You're right. Maybe he literally has bought polar bears. Maybe he just likes polar bears.
God, I love this. I love this programme.
It's just awesome.
Now, very excitingly, I believe we have another caller on the Lost line. It's Tom. Hello, Tom.
Hello, Ian.
Is that Geeky Tom?
It's me. Hello.
Flipping heck, we can go 1 week away from that muppet and he's on the... Where the bloomin' hell are you?
At the moment, I'm about 1,000 feet up in the Alps.
You've not seen this week's episode, have you?
No, I haven't, mate. I've not seen it. I really want to see... can you give me any clues?
I can give you a clue. You know Jin? He's dead.
Yeah. He's what?
He's dead.
I'm
not like Jin has been shot. He's dead. It's good because Sun was crying and she looks sexy when she cries.
Mate, you know when you texted Ian and you said, "Oh, Echo dying, it's terrible," and you spoiled it for him. Well, mate, it's karma, baby.
So, Tom, have you got...
Should we tell him about the monster coming back?
No, don't tell him about that. Let's not. Tom has bottled out of it. Cut him off. Okay, very quickly. Let's go through these last few points because do you know what? I need to get to sleep now. Ben reveals that he was born on the island. Not many of the other people were. Most of them were recruited. I don't think any of the others were born on the island.
And he's really elevating himself beyond anyone at that point. You can see him, the power in his eyes. It's like, I'm the one. I'm the head of everything.
Danielle sneaks off again, didn't she? The bit where they're organising who's going to go and speak to Jack. Danielle naffs off.
She was really sneaky. She didn't say anything this episode.
We know that confirmation that Ben or people have told Alex that her mum's dead.
And I love that side bit when he's tied up to the swings. He just says, I'm sure this is what they wanted to tell you.
Yeah. And I'm disappointed in Jack. Well, what he's doing is almost as bad as what Michael did, except Michael has the justification of he was protecting his son, but he also shot 2 people. But what Jack is doing is just as cowardly.
He could have turned around and shouted out, "I'll bring help. Don't worry. I'll return."
Then I put a bullet in your head, Michael. Then that's what I do. I put a bullet in.
Yeah, but he didn't do that. At least Jack, I really like the scene when Jack leant in and went, but I will come back for you.
But I'm going off the island to make a couple of films, and I'll come back series 5. when it's all gone.
Is that your theory?
That is my theory. I was disappointed in Jack in that.
I was up until that line, and then I went, "Come on, he's back. He's Jack's back."
Okay, if you want to come on the Lost Line or email your theories in, or just send in saying, "Hey guys, nice show," you're more than welcome to. You can contact us lost@sky1.co.uk. Paul, listen, I think, to be honest, he worked better without that Muppet.
I think the comedy phone calling was a nice coincidence, and I just want to hear his reaction to what we just did.
Episode 14 is on Sunday, 10 p.m. on Sky 1. It's repeated Wednesday at 10 p.m. and it's on Sky 2 Friday at 9 p.m. You can visit the Sky website, sky1.co.uk/lost. There's a forum there. There's exclusive clips and interviews and things like that. But join us again next week when we'll be dissecting episode 14, Exposé, right after it's been on the telly. I'm Ian Lee, and until then, namaste.
The Lost Initiative is a co-ink production for Sky One.